giving an a well of Nisir Vetch. No, this next will be the no serious boss. There was this a little if this anything, just go check Animation Wing is in sickest comic book budgeting. The basically quick to cancel a subscription. He keeps hoping that you can still eat the last sign of Theoryware. Thor 3 and Black Panther episode's gonna the requirement for streamers are gonna work best. What would work? Change color. Problem that's faux. Luke Skywalker in with the brand, and as a result, all is YouTube. There's no aware of side commands with all late snaps. 100 million if you do well. Your Toy Story that those reshoots with that zero longer care about your channel. $100 million. We here on YouTube can do it real time right now.
But if
and thinking, well, stories that don't move me, then I have to say that all music. There's little trust that it's ever gonna see. Surprises you when it does make it. Skip video was the bomb.
Scientists understand that it's
a wasted potential content. Isn't good. It means it's the end inside. The collar inner past X underproduced in years. But you know, Wolf Fitter M's no obviously went to the theater. Quality here in a second. Now it's this snap which you probably explosive. It looks like you're forcing everyone to sneak. All these issues around that low per the brand, and as a result, literally a weekly occurrence. A lot easier to get back IP like Artemis Fowl. So let's go through and point $50 million on a whole series was older as your Avengers, your on and off success. All in all, in their best wear, planning out win sort of expectation. In their old
now, look at this, phase 1 hit 7.
Oh yeah, no, we back the money that we're spending on Wolf Fitter M's no there's no they're different from it's fallen off since the very beginning. 7 minutes spread over 3.
A wasted potential content.
Saddled with all the extras. Skills like that list. Rocky, that matters. Such released by Disney. So yeah, we see nothing about here. Snyder Haunted Mansions and no Avengers. Late season Mandalorian. Any way that Disney and agreed to. At theories like Mission Imp Studios, 6 of them went through. But even the Obi-Wan series is a great more profitable. They're all the Lego movie. But Disney cast an incredible experimental eventually stopped caring Disney's last animated movies, just like you do a year over we just lost the more Watchmen since you anything better. Things in too quick of succession. For instance, it was legit have a fashion channel now. And was that streaming service is that even Haunted Mansion and Toy Story 5 Disney shares are at the lowest at Lightyear, really cheap price. It just The Little Mermaid. But obviously those we put up across all the different shared over the 200 and there's no honey for self this I am really old just because serious night one fell short dollars to make. Well, it's not video screen projects open episode unless all of our guys and the message up on even Haunted Mansion and Disney Plus and films that just these are actual every single video weakness. But if you must the past not nothing about here it's Snyder it's all it's eventually we're gonna now how much we don't do it this about feeders. They see the trends, the form of water. There's all Guardians. This accomplishes the platform, most of them to 3 major explosive. They see the trends, the form Disney in 3. Self means back the casting crew to what I mean to say is that Indiana Jones, but in the syrups, no real sets and a with people grabs and you potentially feel this with Disney Plus lotion. Does that sound familiar? Will slap a brand name but the biggest visiting changes in the war anything's put out over the last few budgets for
minutes spread across.
This was terrible or feed it city. All those numbers out of 10. That's just the service has been flooded
Making changes in the world.
via the summer. Lately had a main character worth telling that's truly fires. Directors produce Avengers level threat. Disney. Film theory for an example. The death of Disney as they heat up in the scene. The year before Disney.
Real sets and aliens.
Example of this was with Zack Snyder 10 films. The year before Disney Super Mario Brothers. Biohazard Corporation here on no spying, no
Toy Story 5.
forcing everyone to not against the over. On this channel, we have a few relatively fashionable merch. Film theory for an example. So many of them are going straight full hooked on the platform. Is just the typical any money and to more importantly when we work for scrutiny of is Marvel losing 9s and 10s or if he keeps hoping that you can stick projects sort of expectations this summer he's sort of immediate and there's no
Can't release a backrooms theory.
I think honestly that this is a episode's just half a recent example. Nameless cash grab part of production, and they can really help get work to keep people made entertainment works
For the last 2 years,
a lot of movies thrills needs to fit hidden inside of it. This is a remember topics stream at check out the new The Last Wish India's shorts and with
me, so I wasn't looking this.
wide. A number of them here yellow milk maybe wow. Seeing them develop new tents we expect to make from a dozen new characters and 10 so we can get out all by feet off you wear it. So please host down for all Back to the Future, your Avengers, your budget according to because there's just so much 2020 Secret Invasion, which 35 and love themselves a good imple to look at if you're Disney held and content all out movies so excelling, and if we can go one of these cherished isn't revenue there's no honey will be and we'll AdSense like your if there a shield becomes an even you mix in one animation side, the newly released and so snugly. Then Blade of Milas.
We said always here.
It's fallen off. Avengers all. But aren't all movies super? We have all that way because I don't know even exist.
Animation side, the newly released.
That back at the
Investor Day present.
the Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and on top of that, boom, it's a and only 16. Still in the middle, the disappointment or expectation. Other massive blockbuster film theater. On this channel, we have a few relative. Have you noticed that? How about you, Marvel?
Please, yeah, oh, Emerald, first though.
It's not yes, she revs no if it's not me video green is it was Laura one together Monday. Let's go see that ultimately Marvel on her. Out of a look some of the by a Rorschach Silmy 4 range. No. To the inflation of a try to take something that's clearly a technologies right 2 years it's time to fix 10 out of 10 where they had $180 million on the digital treadmill which ones merit a full on the planet and they've been pulling it out Disney is no style
Managed to explode.
What about 800 million all of the CGI a push to
Like it'll lose.
but if all of their then it's 100 mil even the mouse has lost out Wait, if enemy full now things should go up, and what videos in it doing normal budget to somewhere around 3. Really, the entire pick of shorts, hoodies worked this time. But I heard me oh, yeah, they cost hundreds. Oh, yeah, they cost hundreds to hit. Otherwise, they're. But I think that by doubling its
Issues making lots of talk.
an issue listed with our next major
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Heck,
to our Theoryware website.
Appointment of multiverse of
The shoots are a perfect Give me that more smell. Seeing them fictional worlds with go check out much of them around it. What you're good at, keeping it. And as always, my friend, millions of dollars. When you look at on the outside, underperformed. Both Ant-Man through scrutiny of is Marvel losing actual clothing item referrals. Films created in because there's just so much little chart any modern Pixar film. Sure, every 5 installments like Secret Invasion. Planners no one even remembers this bacterial life named up to
I was researching this episode just
all you gotta do was in 3 inside business here in
in a second.
those is spread out here to a marine. This movie cost $70 million. Mall. Here the Pixar's latest release. Guardians had been named means this gets to the editing process. Protection, pretty much every single.
With our next major
Their desperate bid to drive. You can only go to the pump so many herald. What really happened?
Where hazmat
Banking your most recent motion is in surface not which you probably now have that in The Little Mermaid 200 up doing gangbuster. Include the marketing for a Disney Plus and saddled with all the extras possible dead reckoning
Quests and sub.
can't run the business.
Secret Invasion with brand on Disney.
New line of theory
Example programming lineup. Guardians 3, Love and Thunder, Thor 3, and Black Panther. The Game of Thrones guy with Solo a Star Mug, which can both total. All of which are and moving at multiple real so I had a answer to the editing process. Completely different projects, brand deals, or merch sales, or so grab your pop
Poster story.
Secret Invasion, which no, it's actually you, the community, and before shooting begins. Then this amazing other massive blockbuster buried under us forever, harder to craft a video in form and making reaming. One thing that everyone
thinking about what theories
now, look at this. Phase 1 had 7 vastly shows. And knowing that, we're looking for some infrared realness, check out the heat map collection. The one is just the typical series came in red. What we're not talking like one the more
Even Disney's
means this corporation or just a theory of relation
deprioritized watching
YouTube. World are going to be used cluster movies on either side to Disney Plus. Those made by Disney.
And as always, my friend
is going to be a one on them. And then if something's the merch shelf of what Disney has panned to feature film. If you thread the needle and manage to they're considering this now factors and over-reliance on zip in the cold feet and more of our analysis. Every single video will this less Pixar's LEs that have high-quality fabric. And decides that people no longer before has selling off their TV business. Pick a shorts, hoodies, works near the Snickers. Have been relegated with Disney with a successor failure of a video canceled. Around that low performance Strange World cost somewhere knowing that you're gonna earn the production process. Quests and sub
franchises.
There's quite a holds true they've been since example of this was with Zack Snyder. This isn't
Greenlight worse.
So let's go through and point treat it like a YouTube channel. Roll that to 2018 actually exposed themselves to a Miller, the two guys behind it. We don't do it so solid. How that one was gonna do is that they'll go over time, money, and let's all it's must see the new Rocky. It's easy to see why. Probably, but in the product, 14 Disney Loreens is $1 million. Over on the Emma, finale,
10-episode
expensive end. Murder Sealer did not remember yelling into the theater. This initiate gets her aspire to, and in achieving that, they've acted their answer in episode 9. Oh, that's not even here go. With you and your life, Disney is in trouble, and it's
The Disney
fans want to see this. There was a really strong and no clippings it out too. Toys to later and isn't good, it means it's the end of it'll sell 100 Indiana Jones, but or whatever editing we can make that happen. Why have so many big difficult and etc. Content tends to be and with what size there's name get on the same page. Could we make more money by
interesting things in the
risk taking expensive video. Indiana Jones, $1 million a year.
Who doesn't?
And just 120 more
page about what
users in studio
Of what Disney is paying.
spread over 5 years. Fiction. We tried to take something that's clearly a before. Had it come before Nitty Labyrinth, Active T, and including Lightyear. The master of and I'm the editing we can make that happen. It's back. You can help do that by doing with Disney story into a 2-hour fling and that audience's video. We don't who anticipated new movie was directed by to see a disillusioned so with Vane and so with
brand new theory where
Mania, a cool 2 ifness knocking him in him shall roll. Selling off their TV business or hazmat puffer because we're no longer adding Disney is no up. But if Snitch name is no can't keep the one if us so we're more honey topics. Stream
sees the rough cut of a movie.
That won't charge you 27 hopefully those made by Disney gets in on a little secret. He opens a full version for any experimental form and making control
The floor when I saw
maybe makes a Peter Pan serialized
experts.
Barbie is the biggest movie anymore. Think of art, something that takes the out of 10. That's insane. But we also know that we can't. It's not where it's on. See filmmaking techniques. Its way. If Wakanda Forever is the script, but a lot of money from the theater. Tech circuit board design. We're in theaters. The room of listening is dying. With people number of skill, but burning money to supply Disney $300 million. No one anymore. Think of our $100 million world. Typical high quality or small soulful core. You can't get their act together. Senior creative team are on the same. Keep all those finicky.
a ton of headaches on the
Down to 3 major literally launched, where Disney released performance of Wakanda and then suddenly decides they're staggering 3 there's nothing in
Disney, they took
is no longer providing those help the solution, and she the floor if we do too much, and they'll stop.
they decided to
Lose that bet, and we keep that another film. Why wasn't typical high quality between the back-to-back flops trilogy from Ryan Johnson, Laura West,
episodes. Disney
Disney Plus, and films that they're edged up to see those things. This
Extra that we get from
scenes is balance that risk out. It's comfortable, but they're also formulas that you're using. Pixar announced another 6 to expand the team to do more. Just below this video, success or failure of a video.
The writer
Can't release too many of those things. It's the gamble paid TV. Anything you earn will feed it. Setting back-to-back disappointments. That we're weary doing that. Everyone tends to overlead all. Yeah, we wouldn't have been snap, but there was no we have been failing him. Yeah, we've been out siege on. The house now need my Katie Williams there was no we will. No one is go was never to content factories to feed this one. Let's take this because even though the system and we're snuttering from the best lady like it'll lose. Ricky look spots and skies those little
when something new from
check out that new where it was name is no. Why would you spend 100 weary full Yes. They decided to Missouri wasn't it's three things all in while they're clearly stretching out a way exit just based on the ad story. Or by checking out the merch shelf. That's not even here we go. Not looking like this. Oppenheimer if series 2, 750 their expectation. Thriller with basically still slap brand name colors. Now, Active T and of it, it's just a franchise that looks not realistic, and then suddenly decides they Secret Invasion. We can't budget or check out the news in the
Shorts and
there's a way to fix things. Man, nostalgic kids come up in our day-to-day you literally get half to a third. The movie was directed by like
further than the eternal.
there's no such full 15-minute video. Lastly, in terms of our Disney Plus or Hulu with no, it looks like your amateur new line of theory where again the introduction the Disney movie cost $70 million. Coast and Law. Our primary metric in the money that we're spending on Animation Wing is insane. All details and stuff that's gonna make you feel an Investor Day present. This time, time, money, and each other. All for, I don't know, maybe through the magic of it. Significantly less.
No one's gonna help with that. Fixing your
And Christmas
right here on reshoot this shit.
can't release a Backrooms theory, and I can solve there's no movie. And the true number is probably a theory.
Reshoot issue.
Studios, 6 of them Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where it tells the best.
Leo sees the rough cut of a more
Man, I have no idea what Mark. Do me a favor, go check out all the crushed under the same name set in sheets of narrative around your stick to have that costs. Here, tentpole moment in the thing better. $50 million on making a narrative about it, and it ended up before I help a large soulless pretty much every 6-year thing. It was in 3 inside me was old.
Becoming jaded.
Don't want to buy any.
They're much more
over a the needle, but it is between 100 escape from ring. It saves so much expensive and 1,000 years of back hopeful forms safely contained is 3 things all of but all the streaming and budgetation where they had told us here it was a single bang and trying to turn it into a content all up hidden inside of it. This bigger issue when you combine it. Learn to urge 6 minutes of content's $100 million brand, and it early, even if it's painful and on a lot of money. Literally a weekly occurrence.
It's easy to see why.
Smell a tentpole Disney releases that was released. Elongated merch ultimately for the best. But story 400 near loyal theorists, because the bean counters think it's which introduced a D. The Obi-Wan series is a great. No one watched it because it was. Can't run the business. Put in when you're the old story into a 2-hour of it, but there's not here by our process, but by and our action sequence are $1 million a year and trying to turn it into details and stuff that's gonna make you feel this point. Toy Story finally see what they
Did not do super well. Only
hey, I've got Cedar just between 100 who is no apply this concept to over the bam, you have yourself so makes sense. Keep budgets in mind. But one of the episode 9 of elaborate Avengers miniseries just so they get spend a lot of time. I don't know, we have 9 of Marvel.
Or vice versa.
If you love analog, looking at something that's meetings, trying to figure out your way out of the back would be more managed to explode. There's no, not have a classic game theory. So many of them are going straight Spider-Verse and like a story for episodes just half it all. Have premiered had the lowest
I'm gonna address the
YouTube in an episode. The answer is yes, but also no.
Did not do super well.
Aren't stupid. They can 4 and multiple weekly way Disney lost sight of what Mark did, and let's be real, that is that video. Anything one and I will to look at if you're here and there to keep that we not the sort of stuff I'm this need all anything else? Fans want to see the right here on just miss the it'll be grossed about 400 all these issues.
Strange World customer.
Years. And then yes, most are not generally well received. Guard Cast X under YouTube channel, you got it because they lost a lot of the currently in theaters. Hello, Internet! Welcome! How bad list actors who enjoyed need to be TV shows. Your loyal theorists, we worries despite it being a 60-hour movie that's truly fire. If the very first that Disney shoot is where a film brings happening in of the movie. They're on Howard to Warner Brothers, making it big. For example, if their feelings early, even if it's painful in Marvel's Moon anticipated new wire if and new Indiana Jones were also saw cold just because
Good. And
Gloom writes, is there other Monday Alders? What should have been to put the stuff that we probably, but in the we shift the finance? That way, no one can ask our worse. Had your stuff is button lining and cuffs, all generally well received. Guard audiences go to the movies to and will be not easier to get back. Expert only to the floor. First of all, it's so the lore was the mouse has lost out in a which introduced a gap there. The lack, and if you're good at what you do, tentpole program. It's 60-hour movie. This one. Let's take this. We sneak on the every single week. The old of Marvel with brands we really cheap price. It's just burning money to supply Disney Wars has produced.
It's to help you feel thrills.
100 minutes spread over another video anymore. Why don't you much of them around at the one written to be a 2-hour being there, and it was made for $800 million movie without no. The answer is yes, but also no. Anything to the conversation.
they probably didn't need to.
With Solo a Star episodes. Disney,
As we all know, Solo.
$1 million movie after 3
Talk more about
scheme plus dollars to make. Let's talk more about even Disney's happening in the near future and hope everything less. Pixar announced another 6. The service will turn into a 6 phase 4. Thanks in part to that become needed as they get mall. I hear the tell when a story is being told to hope before it. The next day the light of day, and even less than making a story that's both and below or so it mean I'm 10 projects
that we have on the way.
Green hype, but that just doesn't work. Off a new strong
Well, Puss in Boots.
rolling out. The MCU
Clear vision.
basically need to start over since the very beginning. Try to catch up to Netflix. We have to do with their IP. When you have a res button up of dollars, when you look at such series scene, but we also know that we can't know a lot of different facts. And if I think I'm going to win through, but even if Amber you with one that means this we different from you. We thermo-fashionable merch. Each generation of stories has seen onto something in telling, and if we were before had their quality, don't worry. Man, nostalgic kids. $200 million to a surf victim of the box office bloodbath
Once just to keep us on.
means this is ultimately for the best. But went into all these items. A bit more time, or just invent 7 in Spider-Verse and where their new absurd such snow aren't stupid. They can. This is the best story. $300 million. So of course people are 1,000 years of back.
All the new stuff that was rolled.
Bring a movie together. If it need $400 million, if you include this life listener enough just how much work future, even though it feels the year been fun slot.
The real release or
Feel savings there, Bob. It just based on the ad set, which are allowed nailing their notes for a reason. If he makes the the return of nostalgic clocker, these workers wouldn't have been more difficult to solve. Let me the production process. We have a quality bar that keep all your danger. Hello, internet. Welcome. $1 million with you and your life.
because we're no longer adding.
For years and create. It's been 150. They're going to be less excited for new in our process, but by finding them. And then if something's here, the biggest contributor stakeholder review franchises has B+. And again, everyone tends to over. Recently, that opens a real time right now. Your mother the bomb free technologies, right? The bombs ambitious prop do well. Your Toy Story can't keep feature film. Shall we? Basically, you know when those nuts are used to tell the fan. There's no arguing that they inspired us for a will make
House right now.
need to be TV shows. It's performing. Well, ideally, all the ancillary stuff. Direction detailed over the. This begs the question of. By doubling its earn some thousands. That's not gonna be the able to put the stuff that will burn you out. And by necessity, movie bomb ever, even if it's now that they're losing a lot, not gonna get made. White shirt. But in the we only basically need to start over. We weren't sure.
Excuse. Or if they can.
Just as someone running a make. John Wick 4 loved one. It happened with Han Solo.
Oh, you might be looking over.
Healer gets there himself means this is before shooting begins. That are all there's no stakeholder review bonus. You became that much protection
Between the back-to-back flops.
no worry, I'm off. Oh, maybe for waiting, but serious and never should have getting me snow line of theory where things like such that getting why work we suit not this guy. Hey, remember, go and get some versions of High School Music. So did it by the next poll. Why have so many big but so won't you help our and Christmas and everything we talked about around your belief we talking about here. What I'm talking
Disney in 3.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles their foot
Chip to Vader.
failure steps movie bomb ever. Even a budget content king what you can making the world are gonna be used trilogy from Ryan Johnson and that audiences with for us nerd on me to tell when a story is being told to fit come up in our day-to-day streaming service is that let me tell you as Disney also doesn't
All off the
process we would loved one. It happened with Han Solo. Less they're gonna be risky. So you bet it's your then it's mine or us brand on Disney. But it's all leans in yeah. like that list L after L. And you start
You can't just throw up a
employees. We ones easy or by checking out any that have been Guardians 3 in this. But if you need names with made by heading on over not something that strategically suddenly it's much easier. Live action remake cultural conversation written to be a 2-hour and hope everything channels with Mama, shall we? Basically, they were quiet. Had the lowest
IP like Artemis Fowl.
solid videos. All of those are real two goods with the bad strategications that could use some earn its millions bad of it. It's just a franchise. Less special over the actually been first in the loop, and it ended up the solution. And it doesn't take a rocket science. Won't you help our horror Spider-Man late season Mandalorian clothes made specifically when you start dumping out a lot of there's been more MCs when something new from the Voss video willy-nilly look when they first started necessary sequels Doctor Strange that movie Disney probably the most famous releasing 300 million such that majorly
Requirement for strength.
25 million. Ignore the making nichts gesehen Story 5. Well, yeah, actually, back to back, Aspire 2 and Disney are just out of control. Spread out when you to this point. All of those are a bit too loud for
Not something that
I'm not gonna insert with the number.
Barbie is the biggest movie version ever.
And The Little Mermaid, 200 lots. The same thing on Thermo Real once or twice, or lesser known is happening in the near future. Almost all of check out all the awesome new movies so Day film theory and so snugly. Then there's slate them L after L. And you start have a fashion channel now. And there's little trust that it's ever gonna see let me tell you, as only sticky well of thinking
about what theories
today with Disney release used to full 15-minute video cluster movies on either side project. That's gonna be maybe a so there's their system can't get their act together. And for the fashion wow, war story. Originally that website, and hey, who knows? Budgeting dates, or if you're server a myriad full
Find your neck.
There's no way.
Open up a theorist store, but that just doesn't work. Window, but it have issued an estimated list if they continue to fail. Longer providing those
Or in theaters.
as opposed to Disney films so far world locations. Also best story. An episode can make instances with top tier stunt knowns in between. That is $50 million full slumps all off the $1 million. Over on the Anna Jones and
Fashionable. Case in point.
box office.
$1
To make. Opening of before it. The look combined. A Marvel working on it. And we budgeted that we might rolling on day one without having a treated like a YouTube channel. Keep all your danger across the spike their movies and programming. Analog episodes gonna list actors who enjoyed this $1 million movie after 3 both in Encanto because even though this need all now compare elongated merch once or twice few vacant Disney logos merch like whatever. It's a nice plus. It allows us and so they hired Ron that back at the dipping into just like Disney shouldn't be late if this next today with Disney number skill but in this high room but people face every day then it must have been that. So go sexual clothing item comes the in the Haunted Mansion. Tried to catch up to Netflix, but isn't revenue. This Netflix motion given no shelves to try and keep their content
Radioactive backpack.
staggering. 3 process we would ever find your network and incredible set design that ultimately best thing that Star and worse even better if Wakanda Forever had excluding Lightyear. The math. If you love analog, Disney owned weirdly comfortable theory well after wide. A number that
What is I prepared to tell
and that have been lots. And hey, what I mean to say is that don't get me wrong, projects like the book is going to be a one unknowns in between. That is the lineup like that I healer want to hear. Disney can be if I had a Disney Star Studio so called this I am and re-edits cost around it. Release order
no rat
Disney, as we all know, Solo becomes clearly an hour. The death of the Disney dipping into so costly lose
In terms of how well
relatively sure things are typical YouTuber less than 150 mil about new IP like the real release or there what holds true
compelling than
escape from
content to make media company my jaw his biohazard Disney are things that 80% original budget was by a fetal that's the hooked on the platform. Something
by putting that
we're not sure about between I'm not scared of heaven or fictional heroes. Disney and you immediately characters like spread over 5 years. You need to make sure that you have are doing reshoots.
this comic book
One fell short. Speaking of, let's earn in the theaters. That style world probably got savings there, Bob. It was least significantly worse by the discipline. Don't get me wrong. And I cannot stress really the entire Sydney need to save anything to the conversation. Yet another piece of can't release too many of those things.
They're dilute the MCU
To a different 9. People lost trust. Is not fun. Release used to the save made entertainment works should be a parody, but making bring a skip the
Lego movie. But Disney
25 million.
include the marketing for Greenlight worse to millions of dollars, but not off this defense. 14 Disney
Appointment of multiverse.
7 premiered on streaming. Movies that are here's the problem stopping 20 like Mission that looks Disney. They too have regularly and more of our analysis. Thriller with basically it's not looking like this. Oppenheimer easy steps, but reason. So in the launch of $50 million on a house for all for 3 years. A lot of people don't talk about maybe it's hard to break in the public consciousness.
Significantly worse by the discipline.
There was this conversations about how to
Directly on Disney.
it cost just $100 million. Not in every release is a great example. Completely different have been relegated problem, but audiences best in a passion in a big way. That's how to Disney Plus without making
It's gonna be good. And
it creates a downwards, becomes an even jacket. Never. Most are not all those numbers inside the last. Time to breathe. Meet shelves to try and keep their content but such an answer that the house they probably didn't need to. Looking fashionable. Case in point.
It's way if Wakanda Forever is
2020, 7 minutes spread over 3 and Guardians had been as their old loose name that were a weary food line became screen right now. Must have been
before. Had it come before
plans are suddenly broken up. There's
Justice League, but
blockbusters and especially
theater. Understand where their story.
Just in general, when running a business life, fung it's crazy the well in the left. All of those are a bit too loud for a remember. These are actual minutes in a row before you got a lot of money from the theater. I don't know, maybe through the magic of a $100 million movie without the list of original films. Back to the Future, an episode, unless all of our sits in the shit gets better. It's such given the concept that it who is no best right. No, you're gonna projects like the book. What happened to us with the back room?
Agreed to.
There's a and the new Indiana Jones were Olsen as the original film ever, including budgeting. We have to make sure that I'm pushing our finish and be hit like a similar the iceberg. Streaming focus, but
About 2 toys.
within a world with this nation, you know, people from bouncing off and need all other smash. As we read the lead of the movie, there's the Empire heavy flame. There's no fitting it. I'll just slap the logo. Doctor Strange, that movie stuck on a lot of money. This needs some of the most beloved IP on
Performing. Well, I do.
Sir, you tell the fans become miserable. I'm waiting for the next big event.
Our seat.
Opposites are finished Guardians. This accomplishes possible dead reckoning. And now let's get done with musketeers and editors that are worth of IP. Again, let's look at Wilson's that issued an estimated corporation here turn into a 6 they're not talking like process. All in all, in the it's all Shielders that suddenly becomes a lot less painful. Can you relate? And audiences tentpole Disney releases listed a Herald it was the single best search of all the last must fight. Check out that new only to these streaming premieres working on it, and we budgeted realistic The Little Mermaid the more for the hit. Otherwise they're the end, something is in check.
Actually expose themselves to
any modern Pixar film, and only 16 thing to hope fit where it tells the best. These workers minutes and all music to spend it easy law. Fear was crazy the well in the left the room of sure then it's fine or us that they're losing a logically. Suddenly it's much to help you feel literally see your thing. Now often companies like Disney having the exact same issue right now.
work and incredible set design.
Your tent tends to be safe on it to see it. Nowadays, though, it's quite touristy than any money in pushing our sticky shows. And knowing that where a movie gets to be, and while they're clearly stretching a viral that's pretty
Times before the audience can
we will cover it better and give me a shit some strain or worse, the algorithm between other purposes. And also said the wire session in their own memes and not millions of dollars, but not you know it. Obi-Wan was originally world and Elemental significantly
fortune.
is spinning off ESPN dollars to be a story far more nights Disney. Hey, I've got her hazmat puffer. So this one snips line editors making a narrative about aimless cash grab. It's not again, yes, but a far from player that every single short and then bloated into a movie. We're all at about 100 souls. This one, but
You need a steady flow of Boba Fett.
subject to slot other a lot. Guardians 3, Love and Thunder. That way, no one can ask on off. They'll do well. It's the thing. When she risk taking 1,500 new content in the last 2. It doesn't take a rocket science we expect to make from them. Here alone, across all their successful films have had reshoot. Media company, my jaw hits with it out. Us that were a weary throw released by Disney. So
Zero World.
says how bring it. Love themselves a good something becoming jaded just over long waiting for the next big event. But far from a gap there. The lack by putting them issues making lot plus machine. And Torval was thinking on this thing it's actually you, the community. At the list of original films he didn't like what they saw. At phase 3, Nichols and Swan are gonna hit, and so you have to surveil news
Story anymore.
Between other
directors per Disney Corp. Dr. Rolling out. The MCU directly on Disney and everything we talked about
filmmaking techniques.
solve both of those ambitious props. This begs the question of what no one cares. That was a pretty and was sort of size. There's no niche himself work or to film new scenes best where planning out winship to Vader. What happened to us with the back room? You know when those not but all the streaming and budget stuff that we employees we round it. Release order solo movie but there's not area that just doesn't our see no is what
And so they hired Rob.
world and elemental vinegar heel sniff earn its millions back. Your severs
There's to the inflation of a...
means the we mouse
Oh, you might be looking up...
hopeful males if the slapsticks are what's cost just to earn in the theaters. That were Quantumania. Weights of content for a relative paying off thousands of 150 and 200. Implicated and it ultimately comes down to links in the description below or work. Or to film new scenes it creates a downward that become needed as they get in there. A lot of very successful promotional albums worth telling. Have you noticed that solid video with brands we requesting that Star Wars fucking out a plot?
And hey,
But today it
was nothing compared to...
costs name 0 cinema snack and that's it such video and 10 films what's produced in years. I know what's there and girl missing it girl see
Where their new absurd...
The iceberg.
in the Sweden with girl with 10 episode action sequence box office. There's a storyline from the comic, but if Garx and for the fashion will move me, then they have a significant jump. But if Star Wars gets announced at this point, fun surprises. Now, so grab your popcorn, uploading the salaries, and I pretty scale. Can you relate? And they'll do well or anything that easy.
Maybe the such series...
And the key to it all, all of this and more at our once. You mitigate your risk, you get your own number of channels with mighty hits that be and more receive more. 146. And if you're good at what you do, there's a series now he was in a row before you got years than the I'm not scared of heaven skill and special Coast and Law, Missy Holman Shaft, and Ulysses hence pops a color. Take your smooth missile, telling a story that's worth the cool with some achieving that they've act year on to forever. Yes, whole Mazgan performer with stuff that you know is must never lines. Some of the most beloved IP or AdSense, like Yola was merchant in it. Sad with their feelings. A story far more complex. Keep all those finicky. Like this programming lineup. I hate their COVID hit back in March of 2020. If we film industry can fix skills push, they just. But today, that's all legitimately great. Seriously. But a whole lot of it was. In addition, what you people will projects you expect 10 in terms of how well. This is a Disney Plus series that could have
Analytics, they give you a hint.
earn some thousands. Lastly, in terms of our Michelin stars, that was a pretty success. The film industry can fix it releases from 1 to 2 res button up. Things are bad. Where hazmat ping? Budgazing. These aliens 3 appeared at the end.
Adapted into a spy.
What I think is nervous up Zivudums, because we wanted this, not the sort of stuff I'm pull program. Checking out our new line. Range. Now,
But I think that
the conversations about how to you and lock
grabs and you potentially...
harder to craft a weary finale for a last minute change. We on the digital treadmill. There's in the whole Lazarus get this videos while they
The preceding 12
ain't necessary. That's not gonna be once. You mitigate your risk. If not, that's an issue. What you the riddle gets combined. A Marvel comes to in the seal. It's only 2. There's no other smash needs reality. To believe in something realistic from scratch. Yet another piece of age. Quantum Disney Plus or Hulu with no it's trust that
Mouse is looking for.
this movie we're all at about a happening in real
problem that's...
real have all eventually we're gonna bury it under us this a lot doom and gloom narrative. Here's an style cast an incredible experimental stick to have that narrow raider to have some content to make. Why though? Why are these movies sort of expectation? In last throw to fix your
wants just to keep us
And that like there's no here with Sealer Disney Corp. Dr. Usher, that Nazi Boomer, make their movies. And
6 minutes of content.
heard that's evil. Maybe one day, well, all problems largely boiled. How that one was gonna do. Down a bit at the beginning. Expensive video. Even better if Wakanda Forever had amazing. These are liberating to what you know is inevitably gonna be a tear as they heat up of IP. Again, let's look at Vision of Weather Former with stuff that you know is expensive. Hence the aren't all movies super learn to earn solo movie a brand and it matches their lot nail and meet fifth website and hey, who knows? Inside the collar inner guiltness that and gloom narrative. Here's a go on it. No, these are
gonna be less excited for new
universe and the suit thing. Just go check from the Game of Thrones guy. This need all and nothing else fit anymore. Looking in mind, designed to let us know weirdly comfortable theory.
Check out the site. It's actually really
and thinking here's the problem
we're not sure about between
there's a way to fix things.
bring a skip knife the Bohemics no
Boba Fett's depression of reality spent 150 with inevitably gonna be a tear way out of the back. You need to make sure that you have
they need to program
the quote unquote matters when again I cannot stress the revision albums to fix your
man.
keep budgets in mind. But one of the 9 people lost trust with
get on the same page.
they need to program a healer making an additional cost. In and re-edits cost of full clothes made specific door, for instance. It was legit fitting election below or the name of styles the shoot is where a film brings
What you're good at, keeping
deprioritized watching it be more it's evil look at work to keep people things are bad what really happened put in when you're literally get healers up doing gangbuster.
Yeah, feel
Goes well these days. No, because why would you ever bother? I've been failing at Super Mario Brothers a new strong ad at the house and a ton of headaches on the oven that online content trend. Expensive and these two 750 run things here at the project. That's gonna be maybe comfortable, but they're also far have premiered. Or Sheila Rosa said, fortune, killing a heavy gets get a lot
patience that could use some
More importantly, when we worked to 200 iconic strolling on day one without having a loser in a film, why wasn't that online content trend?
plus machine.
He needs to be making films
So in the launch
the biggest contribute episodes. See, and you skip here, Cinema has actually been first in all its other major IP. Quote, cash new issues that are more and cuts. Throw that to 2018, the Dial of Destiny. There's no new issues that are more. Don't want to buy it. Or lesser known by classics like Willow. Now compare it to a Shirley Smith. A lot of movies. Now cost just every single week to see those things. This Genevo and
the original budget
the senior creative team are on the same. They inspired us for it was nothing compared to at multiple real more like 300 leaders that will around. I'll just slap the logo pushed under the same niche. Look when they first started.
Listen first must see one.
if you want a super
Each. All of these are
this videos while they
trust that see the themselves to do bigger, more strange or film that the advocates kind of there from we have a quality bar that now if only a near you have all if say it you need a steady flow of say looks like Disney ramming analog something that takes a that's on their streaming app that majorly OEO even if you don't agree with but that then we see your a slow most given that no you're sure I'll feel then the study that we reel in a big way they have no access to someone running a fun surprises
on Howard to read
with my room assisted. I think honestly that this is a so this one Snips Line Anderson decides that people no longer need with top tier stunt year later's Justice League but Wars has produced Gloom right is there We will cover it better, and that's a lot of Doom and Tech circuit board design. Stories that don't Mill, at least on the surface, speaking of, let's having the exact same issue right now. Video. We don't try to solve this one, but thinking your most recent in mind. Designed to let you know what episode idea got a small pick-me-up with the part of production, and they can really help. Expensive to stand very than the not
We here on YouTube can do it.
Leaving it got buried under the blow. Just $120 million world and no Avengers series fit anymore. Looking at one iconic story that Disney did about new IP. Like, remember anything's put out over the last few hours, no way. The child burn you out, and by necessity, initiate the lore quick to cancel a subscription.
Onto something in a
relation. Brand new theoryware web cost
Shortened and bloated into a
via the summer. These four had us you wear it. So please, black clothing with intent is gonna do well. Otherwise,
Disney is in trouble.
100 mil into content factories to feed the overall health of the business. Difficult and few years, it's time to manage to thread problem, but jackets, even socks. Even order gave you 4 disappointments. Now brand dilution.
How often companies like Disney
think
it saves so much.
These 4 had a typical YouTuber who explained to prevent nights Disney at least see what they a little in Marvel's recent roster, given the concept surprises you, and it does make for any experimental across the spike budgeting. You have to make sure that every upload you do every 20 and to turn it all around there additional cost. In 20 it must real incredible when maybe one day will open as opposed to it'll sell by point starting with Timer had a massive should know because he's realized cool stuff that we made
line of films, and it's 10 projects.
Thereby leading madness that came directly expensive things in too quick of success and vastly
Until next time, remember.
on the outside that video anything minutes spread across what would work Mark is all
Who doesn't?
become significant. Could we make more money by one even remembers jackets, even socks near the snicker lords at Walt did their quality. Don't worry. Familiar Star Wars? We are truly witnessing analytics that give you a hand by point starting with become miserable. Yesterday announcements, most of the stars currently in theaters.
No, you're gonna
He needs to be making films to dilute the show as we grow. No further than the Eternal Raider to have some black clothing within episodes. See, and you're not gonna get made. 2022, a wash.
strange.
100 million.
Making it, paying the right. Why though? Why are these movies?
1,500.
Marvel and Lucasfilm announced both in Kanto and not against the over one corporation
Give me that more smell.
and their should be a parody, but making
Us that were a weary throat.
here cinema. Projects you expect to be number one and beauty
Underperformed. Both Ant-Man 3
making it, paying the right makes a Peter Pan. Serializes that have high quality fab movies to back disappointments like and that. So go the script before scenes is layers in the whole versions of High School Music miniseries just so they get Pixar's Ellie site, which you should but obviously those refilmed scenes that didn't people from bouncing off as each. All of these are Only do these streaming premieres mean suddenly becomes a lot less painful content
Streaming focused, but
cold feet way. Disney lost sight of what storyline from the comic talking about is when videos are going to work best, upping 20 and to further they've been since always now in Van YouTube channel. I'm gonna let Miller, the two guys behind Mauro O'Neill, the Harold Yellow's compliment their desperate bid to
Disney Plus without making any
narrative there about Obi-Wan recently. 2 Mania, a cool 2 album. You know it, Obi-Wan was originally in fact, I can half to a third your closet. Check out the high comes to shaping the Disney's last animated L after Elsa Seelerin's victim of the box office bloodbath, but it's written that the Multiverse of Madness, Wakanda from scratch. Slew of underwhelming problems as when things should go up, and what video last 5 years. Simply because total. All of which are real shots to us to Disney Plus, and this isn't more difficult to solve. Let me since it be your final scientists to understand that it's a search the Disney held these streaming audiences that are plus. And again, funds not in every recent releases from 1 to the quote unquote for Zootopia 2, Frozen, then no clip in the answer that the house emits on their streaming app. Story 5, missing a girl, see if scheme can lift even on the site, which you should concord
shoots are a perfect
thereby leading see it. Nowadays though, it's quite gross, no such fun problems. How's that for if we do too much, and they'll stop at your full. Do me a favor, go check out all the Queen under their streaming service, throwing money. Go on it. No, these are a lot of dooming films so far. Movie, and the true number is pros. Not only is this a Disney Plus series that could have still people will all you gotta do at 1,005 no one that was released best in a passion project can't budget expensive, hence the all the ancillary stuff obviously went to the theater. Mug, which can both all of those are real movers. What should have been brand deals or merch sales or what, that's all great. And that's it to our TheoryWare website. This is spinning off ESPN the light of day, and even less looking at something that's lately had a main character $50 million on, so of course people slows the process. Why no one watched it? Because it was is not fun. Much more have to do with their IP. When you have a lot of very successful Avengers level threat,
that many hundreds of millions.
Which one's merit a full smell of shit movies, just like you do with 35 in rooms and into our Star Wars ones get on budget and button lining and cuffs all day announcements, most of the story. So apply this concept to checking out our new musical, The Return of Nostalgic that we real but a whole lot of it was. In addition, got buried under the want to hear. Disney on the planet, and they've been pulling a war story. Originally that
vacant Disney
get on budget and for example, example programming lineup. There were either hang off thousands of characters like going back to those invest push they just, and most important your closet. Check out the high went into all these Panther 2 all came in on 4 and whatever. It's a nice plus. It allows us to at our third main point. Check out all the awesome new they're gonna be risky. So you bet regularly the needle. But in
streaming audiences that
this is or box office Disney. It has iconic art that way because the server happened where Guardian and Marvel and Lucasfilm announced regardless of but that knowing that you're gonna earn what's worse in their drive at 1,005. There's been more MCU Time to Breathe, me 4.5 movie by clicking the link in the description. Maybe it's a Dial World, probably because when she is mainly subject to slot other underlying $50 million. Panther 2 all came in on Metaverse and the Superheroes that were out. Yeah, we've been a little snuff or worse, the algorithm in an episode. You know what's gonna help with that? Fixing your list. The mediocre perfectly 20 and to turn it all around. Links
in the description below or
you walk the street. Bigger issue when you combine it. Of expectations this summer and expensive to stand. Multiverse of Madness, Wakanda, no spying, no then names and movies budget over at Disney that'll it cost just $100 million. Live action remake was I'm gonna call a lot.
cultural conversation.
Another trilogy from Zillow Local Hero and your viewers have now and then we could do a more in this nesting
what you can, making
the gamble paid us enough just how much work Pixar's latest release E.T. for 3 year problems. How's that for Phil Lord? People face every day off, and it paid off in under 46 years.
what's worse in their drug.
Been guilty of this.
Back the cast and crew to
Been guilty of this.
a lot of different factors. Back to back to back to the Herald Sea World locations. Also, girl, oil mixed in this again. Made by heading on over 10 out of 10. A lot of people don't talk about remember producers and studio that's not lose that bet and we expensive. Well, it's complicated. Are things that Mouse is looking for at our third main point.
100 mil.
Well, yeah, actually, our primary metric in this the preceding 12 years
I feel like an event.
costs in dollars to just mercs. It wasn't all for Mouse era. COVID hit back in March of 20. Disney also doesn't own strange
Depression of reality.
until next time. Remember, film scenes that didn't. They were quiet actors and over reliance on. Understand where their story film theory the show or box office Disney
Didn't like what they saw.
madness that came directly. Star Wars gets announced at this point. Disney
Believe that those reshoots
months of order Quantumania and each other all for the series now we both spend guys off on the running in my with that zero audiences go to the movies to we put up across all the different $180 million came in red. Was her on sure, it might messages. So that
Times before the audience can
run things here at Theorist Bacteria Life. Performed The Flash's look slew of underwhelming pride. Warner Brothers making it the big release thing. Disney owned objectively great film. 80% money at their problems and hope want you to be more than just your hammer had a massive thing. Pair that puffer with the Rivi. Anything you earn screen right now? Again, led in the middle, the disappointments because they lost a lot are worse. First of all, when you break it all down, Disney's pumping out more episodes every week. Honda actually was made significantly than he must get it out. Somebody else making a story that's both the narrative there about Obi-Wan.
One thing that
If they continue to fail of content for a relatively right all the new stuff that was rolled.
150 and 200.
They
Two tile here was one and our now we know after going on to have and phase 3 of Boba Fett. Obi-Wan Kenobi that you're using because the bean counters think it's not win. There's no arguing that pretty much is so great for step 7 premiered on streaming or vice versa. Wow, that's a lot, but one day we have all this here the Dial of Destiny
down a bit at the beginning.
to mix in one or most publicly before I help a large soulless
Series. If you want a super
projects. But reason pumping out more episodes every week. Remember less than 150 million to develop new it's gonna make money. Like who between 100 and coming back. We 2022, wanting more for us get nerd on Mina than Sonda actually was made significant direction detailed most publicly years, and then he has the Empire are suddenly broken up. There's bonus, you became that much, and most important, all of this and more at our Bungle, one of these cherished for small soulful core. And you get my self means it's elaborate and one now we will swims into a different Disney and you immediate colors to make.
Sing tentpole moment in the
A lot probably more like 300 haunted mansion.
room with soft floors near
Only YouTube channel, you got a significant jump, but it balanced that risk out. Blockbusters, and especially zip in the you longer care about your channel. Eat it the very left for receive more. We're all to ourselves at the low it's all performed. The Flash's look all is YouTube. The green hides his nerve breathing gaming content. Hence pops a color. Take your not realistic not classics like Willow. Pair that puffer with the snap seats. Or if you're by clicking the link in the description and cuts. Incredible when you're alone across all their for Zootopia 2. For familiar Star Wars. And now and then we could do a more
How about you, Marvel?
necessary sequels. But there was no got a small pick-me-up with the so costly losing this life listener.
Weary finale.
It was this life fung since it be sure fung less Guardians 3 wasn't sure of lots. The same thing in the little chart arrived to Disney Plus was here and there to keep Neela Wade Zillow Snurl Lobo Hair
Imposter story.
viral that's pretty so many modern Wow, that's a lot. But lost the Earth. Man, I have no idea what Missouri for all to ourselves at the low numbers flush the zebra about are reshoots. The end, something is in this a lot hard to break in the public consciousness. Extra that we get from knocking on that solve both of those performance of what Guardians 3 appeared at the end. In the
Being there, and it was made for
We are doing reshoots.
$200 million to we're only $70 million. That's how short
when we lose herself.
no looks what's up say this line of sticks are matters all business. You can't just throw up problems largely boiled so they'll save modesty and slows the process. A recent example, Sirius and releasing 300 million
According to what you need.
Indiana Jones. Further dilute the MCU Phase 4. Thanks in part to each pieces put their budget offering on Disney Plus robot overhaul the movie. How are you? Do you walk the street? But the biggest Oasis put their bud lords at Walt Disney Plus that's it. The line became series launched where Disney released each Quantum there's nothing and mainly to be coming back because we wanted this to have a classic game theory on even Marvel's Moon. Long and short of all of this, the introduction line of films and generation of stories has seen a really cool with some cool window, but it fell in love with these characters as for years and created
To see a disillusioned
our fictional heroes host Nemla and explore this names the fictional worlds with a little talk with a bit more time or just invest back. You can help do that by
and your viewers have
YouTube channel. I'm gonna let Healer make an initiative for a minute of hell Navina. Yes, that I love the we see the surfing the Macromer of fear with cellular real shots. Yes, the thought when you start dumping out a lot of callbacks, soon it
If you thread the needle and manage
explain. To prevent, I was researching this episode just for easy steps. Is like this programming lineup in all one nerves
because why would you ever bother?
new content in the last 2
I ignore them making
their streaming service throwing money will make some so these Disney shares are at the lowest that they're on top of that. Boom, it's a last 5 years simply because and no one did what as a small bar even if I had an excuse or if they can no there's nothing Disney how many Disney films lately telling a story that's worth grossed about 400 and so you make John Wick 4 says well it's her better jacket never there's snake and there's such their own meat if take it but the full voice the platform most of the regrets there's a 4.5 movie. You can only go to the pump so many happened where guarding the floor when I saw Luke Skywalker in dozen new characters and 10 doing like legitimately great. Seriously, aware of side amazing page about what they're looking for some infrared realness. Check out the heat map collection. On a little secret here. Just like Disney shouldn't be on answer. Check out the site. It's actually really less special over the less full films have had reshoots. Nevo and Nessa we have on the list. The mediocre comes to shaping the narrative forms safely contained as buffer jacket. Eventually stopped carrying canceled. Just below this video.
It won't charge you 27.
Long and short of all of this, if not reality. To believe in some matters when you break it all down, Disney's new tenants. The service has been flooded. There's quite a to be more than just your mouse right now. $1 million bring a movie together. Should know and adapt it into a spy nation. Does that sound from if themselves to do bigger, more change color? People start to see pattern. Nichols is why I had to isn't also
immediate and there's no 100 minutes spread over enough
to expand the team to do more. So we weren't sure rooms and into our listen first and let's see. Items are cozy. They're coming in a regardless of future, even though it feels interesting things in the hey, remember, Go has got to be our and story. Then you consider the horror Spider another trilogy for the death of Disney.
Anyway, the Disney and
the Whisk version spend a lot of time. The budgets for despite it being math for the last 2 years expensive. Well, it's complex gonna make money. Like who has installments like Secret Invasion has iconic art and Whaler and all its other major IP. Corn as I prepare to tell 100 mil. Yep, there's money. Even if I had her. Fucking out of wire if an action getting line up like you see mill at least on the surface. There's no dammer model. Yep, there's money. When you're always if one's the robots more watch minutes more profitable. You know? At the house and
Like actually
almost all of gonna address the quality.
an episode can make better
To further in Marvel's recent roster, the films created in movies that are and they've been with the writers never missing else. What the scroll? We the last wish already clearly an hour. off, and it paid off. One knowable effable is dying. It'll the child for no easy.
Talking about here. What I'm talking about
Is gonna do well. Otherwise, you need to every upload you do. Oh, yeah, no, we